Imagine being denied a green card, not because of missing paperwork, not because you don't qualify, but because of something you said online. That is the reality under a new policy announced by USCIS, what they're calling the quote, Anti-Americanism rule. And here's the problem. Nobody actually knows what anti-Americanism means in this context. It's vague, it's undefined, and it's already creating fear for immigrants across the board. Just last month, USCIS confirmed that officers can now look at whether an applicant has ever endorsed, promoted, or supported anti-American views and use that as a factor to deny an immigration benefit. That could mean a green card, a work permit, or even an extension of status. They frame this as a reminder that immigration benefits are, quote, a privilege, not a right. Now, as an immigration lawyer, I can tell you, discretion without clarity is a recipe for arbitrary and inconsistent decisions. These decisions will be challenged through litigation. And that's exactly what we're dealing with at Silmi Law. So how does this screening actually work? Well, officers are now looking at public social media. They're reviewing posts, photos, and the like, whether associations between the person and organizations exist. They can also consider whether your speech or activities might fall under these broad categories: anti-American, quote unquote, anti-Semitic, or terrorist supporting. The problem is obvious. These are subjective labels and they're being applied without any official definition or clear standard, which means two different officers could look at the same post and one could decide it's fine, the other could deny your case. What does this mean for you as an applicant? It means your digital footprint now matters as much as your paperwork. It means that a protest photo, a political tweet, or even criticism of US foreign policy could be misinterpreted as disloyalty or anti-American. And it means that instead of a predictable immigration process, you're dealing with a system that could weigh your ideas and beliefs without ever telling you where the line is. So let's talk about those who are on H-1Bs and, for example, Indian nationals in particular. India already represents the largest share of H-1B workers in the United States. Over 5 million Indian citizens hold some form of US visa right now. For professionals who built their lives here, paying taxes, raising families, contributing to the economy, this new rule adds another layer of uncertainty. Imagine working at a Fortune 500 company, following all the rules, investing years of your career, then an officer denies your green card because of a social media post they didn't like. That's the risk of the current policy. Supporters of the rules say it's about protecting America, making sure those who respect American values are allowed to stay. That's BS. This is ideological policing, and it undermines free speech and opens the door for bias and stereotyping. Immigration policy should be clear, consistent, and fair, but this rule turns the green card process into a political litmus test. That's not how we build a strong immigration system. That's how we sow fear and distrust. So what can we do about it? If you're an applicant, review your public profiles. Be intentional about what's out there. Highlight your contributions, your work, your community service, your achievements. If you think something in your history might raise questions, talk to us about it. And for employers, don't wait until the last minute. Expect more scrutiny, expect more requests for evidence, and build in time for delays. The new so-called anti-Americanism rule is vague, it's subjective, and it could absolutely impact your path to a green card. But awareness is power. If you prepare, if you stay informed, if your approach is strategic, you can protect your future. This is not about silencing yourself. It's about understanding the system you're up against and playing it smart. I'll be covering these changes as they unfold and the legal challenges that are going to push back on these changes. So subscribe for updates. And if you've already felt extra scrutiny in your immigration journey, drop a comment. I'd like to hear your story. As always, for any individual circumstance, please consult with an attorney. We're available. Schedule a consultation and we will address your concerns. Thanks.